hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يكون هواه تبعا لما جئت به. That none of you can truly believe until his desires are in line, in accordance with what Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has done. That for a mu'min to be a true believer and for us to be sincere and recognize our sincerity, we must love in our hearts that thing which is beloved to Rasulullah Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And until our heart can love this one and make this the internal feeling that we like to have and follow and include in our life, unless we can do this, our iman will be incomplete. Our iman cannot progress and flourish until this ability to change our desire has come. Because we will always be influenced by the environmental factors and many other factors besides the environment. So all these things we have to be able to control them and make sure that inside our heart stays firm on the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We will be influenced by different theologies, different influences, different mentalities through people, social media and authorities and all different ways within our families. There will be influences that will come to us, and we have to know that the only way we can truly succeed as a believer is that our heart loves the deen of Allah and wants to follow the way of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and this be our direction, and the other things they are outside of this. Now we are safe in our path to Iman and success. So may Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq that we are able to be strong on this path. And to succeed in this, among the factors that will come to disrupt our path will be the Shaytaan. And we know how Shaytaan, he had already disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he wants to make sure we disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He wants to change that desire inside us. He wants to make this desire we have in our heart love the things against the deen. He wants to make us in our heart be thirsty for the things that are haram and forbidden and the fitnah. And so we have to recognize this Shaytaan, that he is a very important factor and we mustn't allow him to succeed over us. When he had disobeyed Allah, when he had not done sajda to Adam alayhi salam, Allah Ta'ala at that time had cursed him. قَالَ فَخُرُجَ مِنْهَا فَإِنَّكَ رَجِيمٌ. Allah threw him out until he told him, the Iblis, the Shaytaan, that you are cursed. وَإِنَّ عَلَيْكَ لَعْنَتِي إِلَى يَوْمِ الدِّينِ. And that my curse, it will be upon you until the day of judgment. قَالَ رَبِّ فَأَنذِرْنِي إِلَى يَوْمِ يُبْعَثُونَ. So Iblis, he didn't want to go straight to Jahannam, but rather he asked to Allah that, Ya Allah, give me some respite, give me time until the day of resurrection. قَالَ فَإِنَّكَ مِنَ الْمُنظَرِينَ. So Allah accepted this one and he gave him a respite until the day of the appointed time that is unknown. إِلَى يَوْمِ الْوَقْتِ الْمَعْلُومِ. قَالَ فَبِعِزَّتِكَ لَأُغْوِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ إِلَّا عِبَادَكَ مِنْهُمُ الْمُخْلَصِينَ. Until the appointed time he will be given respite. So he said to Allah that verily I will misguide all the children of this Adam. This person I didn't do sajda to, I will take all his children with me into Jahannam. And the only people I will not be able to affect and take with me will be your chosen people. the ones whom you have chosen to be saved, that they will recognize you, Ya Allah, and they will obey you and worship you, and you have protected them that they can recognize me as well, that I am their enemy. So this was the plan of Shaytaan from that time, that he will take us away. And for us to win against him, we have to control this heart, that the Shaytaan, Iblis, can't come to the heart and change the feeling therein. Our feeling, our love, our desire, our direction has to only be that of our Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He gave us the Quran, he lived the Quran and gave this as our example. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قال فالحق والحق أقول لأملأن جهنم منك وممن تبعك منهم أجمعين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that he only will speak the truth, that what? I will fill that Jahannam with you, Iblis. You will be going to this Jahannam, وَمِمَّن تَبِعَكَ, and all the people, they will follow you, they will also go in there with you as well. So if we want to save ourselves from the Shaytaan influence and the end, the consequence of Jahannam, the only way is to recognize he's there. We have to understand what his goal is. We have to recognize he's the enemy. And how will he curse us? How will he take us and make us among the people who are cursed? He will use this dunya and everything therein in order to take us astray. This is why we have to be very careful that our heart, feeling, our mind, thinking, our whole eye direction, this has to be very carefully preserved and maintained and guided, so all these influences don't come in the way. This is why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, الدنيا ملعونة ملعون ما فيها, that the dunya, this world, it is cursed. الدنيا ملعونة means that the world is cursed. What does that mean? It don't mean just the sin. It is saying everything of this dunya actually. This is the way, the means, the tools that Shaytaan will use to take us away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَا فِيهَا, and everything inside this dunya is cursed. That means everything in the dunya. Eventually the Shaytaan will use each and every part of this dunya to take us away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to take us away from our Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is why we have to be very aware that how the dunya is functioning. We have to be careful not to blindly follow anything we hear. It doesn't matter that it comes from the most superior or elite of the people. If the name of Allah is not there, there is going to be a big question mark on this, whether it is the good thing or the bad thing. Because the hadith continues, that after everything is cursed of dunya and therein, إِلَّا ذِكْرَ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى, except for the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَمَا وَالَاهُ, all the things beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَعَالِمًا أَوْ مُتَعَلِّمًا, and the alim, the scholar, and the student of the knowledge as well. 4 things have been excluded from this curse. So we have to realize that everything of the system of that dunya, from top to bottom, whether we are talking about education, we are talking about healthcare, we are talking about the business, we are talking about any part of dunya. Remember, ad-dunya mal'una means everything included. It doesn't just mean some small part. This hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam encompassed everything. And that anything of these systems in place, it doesn't matter how many thousand degrees they have, and qualifications, and authorities, and research, and so much and everything more, and on top more. If it hasn't got the name of Allah with it, if it's not under that name and that banner of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, first thing question mark should come. Because this is what the hadith is telling to us. That everything is cursed illa dhikr Allah ta'ala, except for the remembrance of Allah. That means we have to think, if Allah's name is not there, written or said, it's a problem. That means it's a question mark. Then after this one, we have to investigate very carefully whether we can accept it or not accept it. Is it good or not good? That's now a second stage. But the first stage now, the Ummah has lost this part of their beliefs, that when Allah's name is absent, then this is a problem. This is a potential among the curses of Allah to the people and from the Shaytaan. And the Shaytaan will use these ways in order to succeed in his generations and centuries of struggling to make sure each and every child of that Adam go to hell. And all the things beloved to Allah, these are safe from the curse. That means that we have to look, that we engage more in the things that are beloved to Allah, the worship of Allah, and the things that Allah has said are good for us. We have to look for those things and engage ourselves, occupy ourselves with these things. And that anything away from this will ultimately lead to a problem in our heart. Just like in another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, لا تكثروا الكلام بغير ذكر الله. That do not talk too much without mentioning the name of Allah, without remembering Allah. Sometimes we meet our friends, we're talking and chatting for hours and there's no mention of Allah. Even sometimes we are talking, we can say, Alhamdulillah, this happened, or Inshallah, this will happen. Always to bring Allah's name in our dialogue, our communications. But now, we are so engaged in the worldly way and fashion and system that we are engaging so much time away from the dhikr of Allah. And the hadith say that if you talk too much without the dhikr of Allah, this is very bad for you. He said, don't do this one. فَإِنَّ كَثْرَةَ الْكَلَامِ بِغَيْرِ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى قَسْوَةٌ لِلْقَلْبِ. Because verily talking too much without the remembrance of Allah, this will lead to the heart becoming hard. The heart will become stiff and hard. It will not absorb the rahmah, mercies, blessings, barakah, the guidance, the nur and the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because they are so vague, they don't even take the name of the one who is the source for all this goodness. وَإِنَّ أَبْعَدَ النَّاسِ مِنَ اللَّهِ الْقَلْبُ الْقَاسِي. And the person verily who is most far from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one whose heart is hard. The person whose heart has become hard, they are the most furthest from Allah. They struggle to see the path of Allah. The deen will come to them and they will struggle. That in that deen, how is that the good? How is this the right way? They will find questions. They will find doubt. They will really struggle with the deen. Because they haven't had the name of Allah, the remembrance of Allah everywhere. Imagine our children, the ummah, they don't understand in the world how the corruption spread, how Saudi Arabia, this country, one time, going back only a few decades, it was a country of such purity, meaning in that place, even the theft you would not see it. The houses were pure, the Quran was to everywhere, the people prayed their 5 times salah, and the masajid were full. And today is a country of zina and incest, and a country of all type of haram you are finding, from the music to all the pornography, and the attendance to salah is weak, and the deen has become changed so much. The people, they are keeping the dogs as their pet, as our army now, and taking their dogs to the cafes to have coffee with their dogs. The country has changed even imagine this could happen. How did all this change happen? How did the minds of the people become influenced and changed? These are examples we are bringing forth. Why? So we realize this is happening, and we realize it can happen here, and we understand why and how it happened, and we understand how we can protect ourselves from it happening here as well. And how does it happen? Through the various ways that Shaytaan will use the people and the systems of the dunya to make the people become corrupted, so that all the haram and immoralities they all become normalized for the people. It's very important that we are very firm in our heart for the deen. We understand the shayateen, we understand the haram ways and systems, and we can protect ourselves from the influence. And in the hadith, there are two other things that were not cursed. وَعَالِمًا أَوْ مُتَعَلِّمًا, that the alim, the scholar of the deen, and the second one, which is the student of the knowledge, these are protected as well. These are the ones who the cause not of the curse but of the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to hold tight to the ulama, because they are very able to save us from the shayateen. In the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, فَقِيهٌ وَاحِدٌ أَشَدُّ عَلَى الشَّيْطَانِ مِنْ أَلْفِ عَابِدٍ. That one faqih, one person who they have the knowledge of the deen, the tafaqquh fi deen, they have the understanding of religion, they have learned the halal, they have learned the haram, they have studied the Quran, they have read the hadith with the ulama. Separate masala. Today homemade scholars, the homemade scholars buying their books and becoming big du'at without the guidance of shuyukh and ulama and teachers and awliya. Without this guide, they are becoming independent, qualified people. This is a very big problem we are finding. Just like the online study, where people rather than going and sacrificing for knowledge, they are studying at home in their comfort with their TV here and their hi-fi there, and in front they have, mashallah, ustad online teaching them Quran and Hadith. So the online study as the main form has also been another problem we have found with the advancement of technology. But this is another subject we will touch on. But the important thing is that true ulama, we have to hold tight to them. And the hadith says, one alim who is a true faqih of understanding, he's a more stronger against the shaitan than 1,000 abids. The abid who they worship Allah all night, they fast all day, they're the abids of Allah, they worshipping Allah, 1,000 of them. The shaitan can very easily misguide them all. But one alim, he will struggle to take him away. One alim, he will struggle to take him on the path of misguidance and transgression. He's the more stronger. So it's very important we seek the shade of the ulama and their guidance. We ask them for advice. The knowledge has to be obtained by asking the guidance in life. Not everyone they are going to become the alim or the faqih or the scholar or the imam, but we can go and ask them for advice. We have access to this one in our life. We have their numbers. Why we can't call them and say to them we need to advise on this issue or this matter. We want to do something, give us some guidance. What's the harm? But they will tell to us things that we will not understand. Why here 1,000 abid was so weak compared to one alim? Because 1,000 worshippers didn't have the knowledge. They didn't recognize the things of the alim that he's understood. And the fourth one mentioned in that hadith was the muta'allima, the person who is the student of knowledge. Very important. Our children, we make them the students of knowledge, of the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we can make among our families one alim, this will protect our family. Because the other study, they will be for dunya. They will not know about the deen. They will study engineering or the science or the subjects they enjoy, and their life will become lost in this one. But we need to have them in our midst and close to us the ulama as well. Why we don't make our children into the ulama? They can protect the deen of Allah, protect us as well in the dunya and the akhirah as well. So may Allah Ta'ala give us tawfiq, inshaAllah, that we are safe from the fitan of this dunya, from the shayateen and from his plans and plottings and the people he will use. Shaytaan he can come directly, but also, like I said, he will use all the system of dunya and the people of dunya to make people go astray. That's why we have to keep the right people close to us. Imam Shafi'i rahmatullahi alayhi has said, إذا لم أجد خلا تقيا كوحدتي ألذ وأشهى من غوي أعاشر. That he says, if I don't find khillan taqiyan, a friend, a close friend who they are taqiyan, they fear Allah, they are muttaqi, they fear Allah, they stay to the halal, they avoid the haram, they are God-fearing. If I don't find this one, then I prefer them to be alone. Wahdati. This is more tasteful and comforting to me than me be with the people who are sinful and ignorant people and I live among them. Rather than being with those people who they're going to influence me and I'm going to end up following those people. If I don't find a pious person, I'll be alone. وأجلس وحدي للعبادة آمنا أقر لعيني من جليس محاذر. And he says that if I sit down alone, أجلس وحدي, I sit alone and I just worship للعبادة آمنا, I just worship Allah alone. I read the Quran, I do my dhikr and my durood. I engage in that relationship with my Creator. I want to reach Allah. I sit alone and do this one. This is more cooler for my eyes than to accompany and be with the people who are sinful. They disobey Allah day and night. And the people who they don't even know halal and haram and don't care. And in fact, they can harm me anytime. Rather than being with those people and always cautious, am I safe or not safe, I'm unsure, I'm in doubt, more better to worship Allah alone. So may Allah give us the right companionship. The people who Shaytaan will not influence them, rather they will influence us and protect us from the shayateen. Ameen. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has said as well in the Quran, يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان. That oh, you who believe, you must stay away from the shaitan. You must avoid walking in the footsteps of shaitan. Don't follow his footsteps, because the footsteps of the shaitan, these are the footsteps that will take us to Jahannam. ومن يتبع خطوات الشيطان فإنه يأمر بالفحشاء والمنكر. And the people who they will follow the footsteps of Shaytaan understand very well that he will only order for indecency. He will only order the people to sin and transgression and disobedience of Allah. We must be very careful in our life when we are walking. Are we on the right way? Are we walking in the way to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala safely? Or are we actually, without even realizing it, are we walking on the way of Shaitan? Because Shaitan will never say to us, I'm your enemy. He will never say to us, I'm taking you to Jahannam. He will never say to us that we are going on the wrong path. Come to me and sign the paper. He will lie to us and trick us and betray us, that we will not realize that we are on his path. Allah is saying, therefore be very careful you avoid these steps. And if you follow those steps, understand very well, these are the steps to Jahannam, the steps of sin, the steps of immorality, the steps of all the transgressions against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to every extent, from the smallest to the biggest of things. وَلَوْلَا فَضْلُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ وَرَحْمَتُهُ مَا زَكَى مِنكُمْ مِنْ أَحَدٍ أَبَدًا. And If it was not for the mercies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if it was not for the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then what would have happened? None of us can ever achieve the path of purity and guidance. If Allah did not open our hearts, today we are here at Jumu'ah. This is a great ni'mah and blessing. Today we are sitting here and listening to the talk of Allah, listening to Quran, listening to Hadith. This is a great blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But it's only because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's saying here, if it wasn't the mercies of Allah, if it wasn't the blessings of Allah, no one can achieve the purity. They won't even sit to listen. If they listen, they will not in their hearts absorb that knowledge and guidance. ولكن الله يزكي من يشاء. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, verily, He purifies who He wills. If He wants good for someone, He will show them that way. If He wants something for someone to be successful, He will make the way for them. Wallahu sami'un alim. Allah is the all-hearing, the all-knowing. He knows everything. What we want to do, Allah, He has that knowledge. What is in our heart, our intention, Allah has that knowledge fully. If it is the good one, Allah will build on that for us. If it is the bad one, He will take us away from this. We have to look to find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to find the way to become close to Allah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said to us, إِذَا تَقَرَّبَ الْعَبْدُ إِلَيَّ شِبَرًا تَقَرَّبْتُ إِلَيْهِ ذِرَاعًا. That we go to Allah one shibr handspan, He will come to us an entire army. وَإِذَا تَقَرَّبَ إِلَيَّ ذِرَاعًا تَقَرَّبْتُ مِنْهُ بَاعًا. And Allah says, if you come to me one arm length, I will come to you a full fathom, 2 arm lengths. وَإِذَا أَتَانِي يَمْشِي أَتَيْتُهُ هَرْوَلَةً. And if you come to me walking, Allah said, I will come to you running. We have to find Allah, want Allah, look for Allah, strive for Allah, sacrifice for Allah. When we do all this one, Allah will open too many doors for us. But we have to make the dunya how we need it to be. The thing is, because we are free in the dunya, we make things happen how we want. There's one story, I'll end, the time is ending. There's one story, not true this one, but it's a story of moral. He says in this one, Shere wa marde dar khana tasweer khuda hadidan. That there was in one room, there was a lion and a man, and they were both looking at the picture. They were looking at a picture, and in the picture also was a man and a lion. Mard sher ra guft mi bini shujaat insan ka sher ra tabi kardas. So the man said to the lion, now look at the picture. In this one here, how brave the man is. That the man, he has made the lion his captive. Must be the picture, the man there and the lion in the cage, or in some captive form. So he's saying the man to the lion, look, this one. How the man is so brave. He has made the lion his captive. The sher guft. The lion replied to the man, Musawwarai insan asta. Agar sher musawwira bude, ichuni na bude. So the lion said to the man, that the one who drew this picture, this was the man. He said, if the lion drew this picture, very different you will find. If the lion drew a different color, different image, you're not going to find some lion captive. So in this same way, my brothers, in the dunya, we are drawing our picture here. But don't think the picture we are drawing, we are making the deen how we want it, this will be the result. Because when we will go to Allah, the reality will come. Then Allah has drawn the picture already on that time. And we'll have to face that picture. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our life the life of bliss, with Islam and with the peace of Iman. And may Allah ta'ala protect us in the akhirah and make our dunya the cause for our salvation there. Wa akhirah da'wana.